Hey guys, my name's Jonathan, and I'm here with TM Events to bring you a Sword and Shield base set review, basically. Um, and got the scans and translations on Pokebeach.com. Links will be the descriptions to um, the actual website, so do check them out. Um, we're going to start this video with doing Psychic, then we're going to go to Fighting Dark and Steel for this video. So looking forward to that. And so let's begin. So we start up with Ghastly. Oh man, look at that art. Anyway, Fade Out, 20 damage. Return this Pokemon, all cards attached to it to your hand. So basically like Sky Return, which is an attack that can be used if you know you can't get knocked out. If if you're about to get knocked out, you can deny a prize. Go for it. Absolutely. Um, Standard, I don't think it'll be used. There's another Ghastly that puts two Haunters on the bench when it gets knocked out. I think that one's going to be used over this one. And yeah, and for a pre-release, it's fine. I would definitely try to evolve it more than anything, but it's something to do, I guess. Uh, so we got Haunter, has Nightmare, which 20 in sleep. That's about it. It's okay. And so what's the payoff with Gengar? You can move damage counters from your Psychic to Psychic. Okay, so it's kind of like damage exchange or damage swap, I think. Anyway, there's a Reuniclus back in Black and White that had the same ability, so not the same ability, but pretty close. Um, so I guess there's some synergy here. You um, put a bunch of damage onto a Ghastly, put it back into your hand, then you can do some pseudo healing that way. But eh, um, it's something, I guess. Uh, so we have Sinistea and then Poltergeist. Huh, cool. So Sinistea says both players draw two cards. Sweet. Is that actually the same attack? Yeah, same attack. Cool. And Poltergeist has the same, draw two cards, but it gains 30 HP and an attack. And the attack is Poltergeist. So 50 per trainer card in your opponent's hand. I think this is going to be played in standard. It's a good punish for against heavy welder decks or like welder based decks. It fits into Malamar, especially with the evolution instance. I definitely think it would be played because Malamar even played the Gengar Mimikyu tag team that has the same attack. So yeah, definitely. And they already run Ditto, so they don't need to run the Sinistea. So yep, definitely can see this being teched in. Um, awesome. Sudowoodo. Standard expanded is garbage. Don't run it. Buttons pre-releases. Draw two cards is great. And you can just keep doing that until you don't need to draw cards anymore. Or right before you get knocked out, you can do damage based, basically do the same damage that's done to you. So you have 80 damage on Sudowoodo. You do 80 damage to your opponent. So this is a good card. If you pull it, put it in your deck. It actually, since it's both colorless, you don't have to run all fighting Pokemon just to run this because it has a colorless attack cost. Baltoy, generic attacks, Claydol. 30 and Confusion and Explosion. 200 and do 120 to itself. Sweet. So, yeah. So if you're against a Pokemon V, definitely run. If you notice a lot of Pokemon Vs being pulled and put into decks through your pre-release, definitely play this card. It's going to be one of those cards that will not come out of nowhere because they'll see you attach energy to it, but there's nothing that they can really do about it, just because 200 damage is a lot. Um, so yeah, if you put a giant charm on it and it heals, so there's that. Or sorry, it doesn't heal, but it will survive, and so you can explosion again if they don't have another attacker set up. That's pretty cool. Um, so I think yeah, Claydol definitely using a free release. Clobopus, bind 20 damage, paralyze on a flip, sweet. Grapplock, 2 retreat, so it can use the air balloon. But Octolock, attacks of your opponent's active Pokemon require 2 more, and it can't retreat. Whoa! This effect lasts till this Pokemon is no longer your active Pokemon. That's nuts. This is a lot better than I first read it because it actually can't retreat. It's just not. I thought it just costs 2 more to retreat. Um, whoa. So excuse me. So there's a Hypno that if you flip heads, you force their new active. So that's so that could be a weird deck that comes out of this. But in a pre-release, definitely run this. 2 more energy in a pre-release where there's not that much energy acceleration, or at least it's not that easy to get energy acceleration. There's some energy acceleration, but yeah, that's kind of nuts. And hard swing, 130 is not that not nothing to laugh at either. So yeah, absolutely. Krogunk, I guess poison Pokemon are dark Pokemon now. It's pretty generic. And Toxicroak. So +2. So it's Verbank City as an ability, which is pretty cool. So let's see, what's the most damage we can do with poison now? We have Verbank City, and then we can have 4 of these. So that's a +10. And then we have, I guess, Survivor. Yeah, Survivor, which is +1. So we can do an extra 11. So add 11. It's pretty cool. Other than that, I don't think this would be used. Don't play it. Don't play it. Even in pre-release format, Poison Claws does 70 and poison, so you do 100, 130 coming back to you. It's low. I don't think it's worth it, unfortunately. So Nickit and Thievul, some foxes. So what do we have here? Nickit says, shuffle the cards in their hand without looking and puts one at the bottom of their deck. Then okay, so it's basically like Marini, but they draw 3 instead of 4. So that's pretty cool. A lot of decks will get wrecked in standard that rely on huge hands like Blacephalon and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. And putting cards on the bottom of your opponent's deck is actually really, really strong because um, they can't redraw them. So if they have the perfect card in their hand, it's now on the bottom so many cards of their deck, and they have to dig their way through it to find it again. So that's interesting. And then Thievul says, reveals their hand. You choose a card and put that on the bottom of their deck. So that's pretty cool again. So they reveal their hand. Oh, they have a supporter in their hand. No, they don't. It's on the bottom of their deck now, and they do not have a chance to redraw that supporter unless they run more of them in their deck. So that's pretty cool. And then Darkness Fang. So I can actually see Thievul being really good in pre-release, and I can almost see it being okay in standard. But I think it's a little too slow and not enough damage for it to be a thing. All right, so we got the Galarian Meowth. Look at him, he's so determined. And we have Berserker. So Galarian Meowth says Hone Claws, it does 60 more with Slash. Okay, so it does 90. Um, yeah, if the math works out, you can use it every other turn to do 90. It's okay. It's on a basic, so it's not too bad. It's a good starter. You will definitely take a prize off of it if you go first, or go second and able to attack first. Um, Berserker, metal Pokemon do 20 more damage to the opponent's active, so you do 90 for 3. Cool. Sweet. In standard, this is going to be played with the I think the Zacian V. Yeah, I think it's going to be played with Zacian V. Maybe with ADP as well. So it's really interesting. Get a bunch of these plus damage effects together, and it gets to a critical point of plus damage where some stuff gets kind of stupid. And then Ferroseed. Ferroseed, look at him, little clay doll there. Not clay doll, but a clay version of Ferroseed. It's pretty cool. And then we got Ferrothorn. What does this say? Flip 3 coins. Okay, that Ferrothorn has had that attack every time. Energy Slap. Move all energy to one of your bench. It's interesting. I don't think it's useful in standard or expanded, but in pre-releases it might if you know that your Ferrothorn is going to get knocked out the next turn. Might as well preserve the energy, right? So if you have it, this is actually an okay line to play. Galarian Stunfisk. Oh god. Takes uh, damage from an attack from your opponent's active. Discard an energy attached to your opponent's active. It doesn't say that Galarian Stunfisk needs to be active, if this translation is correct. So if your opponent spreads, and you have 2 of these on the bench, they lose 2 energies. That's really cool. Uh, so I think that would be played. In a pre-release, this would be kind of a menace because every time they attack, they set themselves a turn behind, so they can really only like not attack to try to one-shot it to prevent the amount of damage you do to their energy line. And then damage rush 30 plus damage, flip until you get tails. I can see this being played, definitely, in the pre-release. In standard, I can definitely see it being played if spread turns into a big problem again, because that will disarm a Pokemon that spreads if it works on the bench. Cool. Corviknight. Uh, oh man, look at that bird. 50 for 1, that's good, but it's a stage 2, so it better be good. And then the other one is discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. It takes 100 less damage. No, it's not good. Discarding 2 energy for only 130 damage and minus 100, it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all, so unfortunately, I think this is garbage. Um, yeah, that's unfortunate. So let's go ahead and just do the colorless as well. There's not that many of them. Glance. Look at the top card of your opponent's deck and put it back. I'm glad they put it back there because I wouldn't know what to do with the card after I looked at it. Like, where do I put it? Do I put it in my hand? Put it on the field? Put it in discard? Nope, put it back. Sweet. And then tail slap. Flip 2 coins. 20 for each heads. Eh. Cincino. Thrifty. Once during your turn, you may discard a card from your hand, draw 2 cards. Oh geez, that's trade. Zoroark GX was played in standard the whole time it was legal in standard. So this is definitely going to be played the whole time it's legal in standard. It's still a stage 1. It only gives up 1 prize, and the attack accelerates energy. Holy crap! So you trade energy, basic energy from your hand, draw 2 cards. Oh yeah, let's accelerate to the bench now. That's nuts. Uh, get your play set of this, and then get another play set of this. It's an uncommon. It's an uncommon in the Japanese set, so it's either going to be a rare or an uncommon in the English set. So That's nuts. All right, Rickety, generic. This one says discard tools before doing damage. Kind of generic. Man, they can do so much more with that line. So hopefully in the future it's better. So, Galarian Ponyta. Cybele, pretty generic, 10 plus chance for paralysis. And Pastel Veil, no special conditions. And then Psychic. Um, in pre-releases, this will definitely be used. It's good. Pre-releases, a lot of attacks deal with special conditions, so this will prevent them. It doesn't prevent stuff like this Pokemon can't attack or the Octolock thing. It prevents like poison, confusion, paralysis, sleep, burn, stuff like that. So so yeah, and Psychic is good. Outside of pre-releases, I don't think this will be ran, unfortunately. Muna and Musharna. Oh, the little Knit Muna. So I assume that's heal 30, and that does 30. Haha. So now looking at this, it's deep sleep, so 2 instead of 1, and then 1/30 their sleep. No, it's not good. Not even in pre-releases, I don't think it's good. So that's unfortunate. It looks like filler to me. Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan. It's cool art. I like when Pokemon references itself in the backgrounds stuff of things. It's really cool. Anyway, 40 for 2. Eh. What does Hitmonchan say? If Hitmonlee's on your bench, do 20 more. So 40 for 1. It's cool. Then 60 for 2. It does 80, and 80 if Hitmonchan's on the bench. Cool. Um, in a pre-release, if you pull both of them, multiple copies of both from them, because 160 for 3 isn't bad. However, in standard and expanded, there are better solutions, unfortunately. The whole ride online. Generic, 110 to 2 of your opponent's bench, and not for 4. Rhyperior, 90, not resistance, okay. That's on the low end. And then 20, 120, and then 60 to Pokemon with damage counters on it. And 60 to each with damage counters on it. Not for 120. Not for 4 energy. That's too much. So unfortunately, I think this is also filler. Um, so Sand Attack and 10, and then do 120 more damage. Cool. So this is how this works. You coil for 10. Next turn you coil for 130, and then you skull bash for 220. That's cool. That's really cool. Um, in standard and expanded, I don't think that'll be used, but it can knock out VMAX Snorlax, so it has that going for it. Um, in pre-releases, run it. It's good. You'll definitely at least trade 2 prizes for it if you get the timing right. Zigzagoon and oh geez. Oh yeah, this thing. So I think Linoon has the worst art, and that's why it doesn't have an ability. Anyway, once during your turn, put this card from your hand to your bench. Oh, it's Crobat G. Crobat G is good in any format that is. Crobat G is good. Um, so by that, by saying that, Galarian Zigzagoon is going to be good. Um, thank God it's a common. Otherwise, this would be expensive as all get out. Um, get your place out of this. It's going to be ran in all four, all three formats: standard, expanded, and pre-release. Linoon doesn't really do much, unfortunately. Obstagoon. It's like that, but 3. So there's your 30 damage. Um, Obstruct, 90 damage. Prevent all damage done by basics. Um, this is a rare. It's a hollow rare. Um, I think this Obstagoon's going to be a $5 card. Um, Especially if the Sableye deck takes off. Um, like this isn't a bad attacker either. If your opponent's Pokemon is like if you're playing against Mewtwo tag team, what's Mewtwo gonna do against this Pokemon? It's going to Charizard GXU once. The Charizard tag team GXU once, and that's one prize. They still have to take 6 more. So this will win games. All right, Scorupi, poison, and then generic 50. That's bad. Um, Hard press, 80 on a coin flip, paralysis, poisoned. This is also filler. Don't run these. Mawile. Find a friend. That's cool art. Put a Pokemon from your deck into your hand. Shuffle your deck. It's cool. And then discard energy from your opponent's active. There's a lot of energy hate in this format. That's really interesting. I wonder if it's because of Welder. Um, they got to be careful because if they print too much energy hate, then you're not going to run. You're going to either have the energy hate decks or the welder decks. You're not going to have an in between. Um, so yeah, this is a good starter. Definitely set this up in a pre-release. And standard expanded is not going to be played. Poniard, pretty generic. Bisharp. Change order. 30 and 30 more for each Poniard. Okay. Attacks like this with these like this attack here with these Pokemon are super underrated in draft and pre-release. Let's take a look. Okay, that's common. Oh, that's common. So you're going to see a lot of these in draft and pre-release. It's not going to be unheard of that you get 4, maybe 5, 6 Ponyards, maybe 2 to 3 Bisharps, and one colorless for basically 100 and what 50 damage, 180 damage because it's 30 plus. That's nuts. And if you find all those, just run Ponyards and Bisharps. Like that itself is its own deck in a sealed format, or in a draft format, definitely. Um, so we have what Cufant, Stomp 20. That's adorable, uh, but not good. Uh, Cooper, Cooperaja, or is it Copperaja? Anyway, Dig Drain 60, heal 30 for 2. That's little eh. 3 for 220. That's more like it. 8 more damage counters on it. It does nothing. Oh god. Okay. This text makes this card unplayable. Um, so unfortunately, I don't think this attack or this Pokemon's going to be played in any format, including pre-release. Sure, you might get one 220 damage attack off. After that, it's just okay. You're just doing 60 and healing 30. Given it has 190 HP, but this disqualifies it from standard and expanded. So it may be okay in pre-release, but this disqualifies it from standard and expanded. All right, so we got what Hoot Hoot Noctowl. Cool. Switch your Pokemon's active. Okay, so your opponent gets to choose. Okay. Um, 40 for 2. Shuffle one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, all cards attached to it, into your opponent's deck. Cool. So if they set something up on the bench during a pre-release, you tell them no. I don't think so. And then they are very sad because they spent 4 turns attaching 4 energy onto one of their VMAX Pokemon that they pulled both of them to both their Lapras and their Lapras VMAX, and you shuffle it back into their deck, and then they are very sad. Thanks, Noctowl. Uh, in standard, these aren't going to be played. In pre-release, it's hilarious. Rangru. Once during your turn, switch the card from your hand with top card of your deck. Okay. So the turn you use it, it's like digging one extra. Basically, you're trading your draw for your next turn's draw. So, but every turn after that, you're basically drawing behind. So it's good for a one-time thing, and might as well use it every turn. But yeah, you have access to two cards on top of your deck rather than just one. Might as well put it on your bench in a pre-release. It's fine. Standard, I can see it being played, especially with the Torkoal deck, because Torkoal wants to discard. Torkoal V wants to discard fire energy, so just put a fire energy on top, do 180. Might as well. Yeah. Um, so yeah, expanded. I don't think it'll be played. Wooloo. Actually, there's what is it? Elixir? Yeah, not max elixir, just elixir. That's the top card of your deck. Put an energy to one of your Pokemon. So it combos with that. So if you can guarantee your energy attachment off of that, then I don't see the issue. Um, Wooloo, expand 30 damage. Takes 10 less. That's garbage. Double, Cotton Guard 30 damage. Takes 30 less. It's okay for one. Um, Double Edged 20. It's garbage. Never mind. So that's unfortunate. So hopefully we have some good colorless Pokemon in here. Snorlax. Adorable art. 3 colorless for 80, 4 colorless for 130. That's garbage, unfortunately. Cincino, or Mincina, 30 for 1. That's not bad. 30 for 1 is pretty high on a basic evolving Pokemon. So that's interesting. Might be better than the other one. Grandpa. Dragon Pulse. Discard top 2 cards off your deck for 80. No. 100 maybe. 80 no. It's too low. Especially for the cost of 2 cards. If it was 1 energy, maybe. But 80 damage for no. Wooloo. 70 damage. Adorable artwork. Tackle and headbutt. Not that good, unfortunately. Alright, so I think that's all the Pokemon. Or at least all the dark, or the, oh geez, I can't talk right now. Yeah, all the psychic, fighting, dark, steel, normal. There's no dragon or fairies in this set, which is interesting. So hopefully next set there'll be some dragon and fairy love, um, and normal, or I guess colorless in card game. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching. Do check out the other videos in this series. Hopefully I provided some insight onto what to look for and how to play pre-releases, and what to look forward to in standard and expanded for some cards. Do look forward to more Pokemon content on this channel, especially Pokemon video game and Pokemon trading card game from actual tournaments. It's going to be a good time, and if you're in the um, I guess Northwest Ohio area, do come check out the game room in Toledo or the Postboard Gaming in Findlay, Ohio, for some fun Pokemon activities and events and tournaments and all sorts of stuff. Links will be in the description to the Pokemon event locator if you're not from Ohio or around that area, so you can find official sanctioned Pokemon events. Oh geez, in your area. So Again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.